Welcome back to AM Northwest. The latest edition of America's most popular and trusted cookbook was co-authored right here in Portland, and now they have a podcast as well. Here to share a classic cookie recipe from their edition of The Joy of Cooking, we welcome back co-authors and now co-hosts of Joy of Cooking podcast, John Becker and Megan Scott. Good to see you guys again. It's been a while.
I know, it's been 5 years.
Has it really?
It's been 5 years.
No way. Oh my God. That's a shocker. I just felt like it was just the other day.
Right.
So first of all, tell me about these cookies that you're going to make today.
So these are called ICEBOX cookies.
ICEBOX cookies. Okay.
And this is a really old recipe. This has actually been in the book since 1931.
Wow.
So back when they called refrigerators iceboxes because they just had ice in them.
Yeah.
And we did call them refrigerator cookies in the mid-century, but that just doesn't have quite the same ring to it as ICEBOX. But the nice thing about these is you can make them any flavor you want. They're really versatile. And then once you have them refrigerated, you can just slice them off and bake as many cookies as you want whenever you want. So it's cookies on demand.
Yeah. Are you pulling something up there?
Yeah, we have a chilled round of cookies to show how we slice them.
Oh, okay. And then now tell me about the podcast while you're doing that. This is
so we just launched a podcast. I think there are 5 episodes available now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you get podcasts. But we started this podcast just to have really mellow conversations about food and cooking.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, the vibe is sort of like sitting around a table with your best friends talking about food after your dinner is over.
Oh, yeah, like that. Okay. So what are you doing here?
Oh, I just, so I was just tightening the roll by using this this bench scraper.
Right.
Just to get a kind of a nice shape and, just to demonstrate what you would do if
so it's still pliable.
Oh, yeah.
It's not frozen. Oh, yeah, okay, look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
even chilled, it's still easy to cut because there's so much butter in it.
Yeah.
So tell me what the ingredients are.
Well, this one is actually chocolate chunk and orange zest, but
it's a very simple batter. It's just butter, powdered sugar, 1 egg, some vanilla, flour, baking powder, and salt.
Okay.
So very standard, but you can add anything you want. Like I've got some lime cardamom over here.
Oh, wow.
This is chocolate peppermint, and these are cranberry ginger.
I like the idea that you can just pull it out any time and bake a couple of cookies.
Yeah, I know.
If you have people coming over. That's a great idea.
Who doesn't love cookies on demand?
Right? Let's talk about your connection to Joy of Cooking again, because it does go back generations. So tell me more.
So 4th generation of the Rombauer Becker family, that's me. My great-grandmother Irma published the first edition with her own money with a private printer in 1931. And we've done nine editions so far, and we're looking forward to publishing a centennial edition in 2031.
Wow. How challenging is that, though, to put together more recipes? It's got to be a lot of work.
Yeah, last time we added over 600, and
what?
It took a while.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Many years.
Many years.
Yeah.
Now, you also on this podcast, you also have a guest who comes on, right?
We do. Every episode has a different guest. Some are just normal home cooks, like people we know who are our friends who are not involved in cooking outside of their just personal life. And then we have some cookbook authors on or other food professionals on. And the topic of the show is different each week, and it's dependent on a listener question. So we have a hotline that you can call.
Oh, fun.
Or text and ask your cooking questions.
I love that. Now, John, what are you doing here? So you're putting icing on the...
Yeah, it's orange icing, just for these cranberry crystallized ginger ICEBOX cookies.
Yeah.
So you can add icing, or you can even turn these into sandwich cookies with your favorite buttercream frosting or whatever you like.
Yeah. So Megan, did you realize that you were coming into this history of cooking? I mean, to have the 4th generation of Joy of Cooking is pretty cool in my book when you love cooking.
Yes, absolutely. That's kind of part of how we met. Was I loved Joy of Cooking before we met. It was the first cookbook I ever bought for myself.
Is that what
in college
kicked off the romance?
Kind of. Well, I heard a
knew.
rumor. I heard a rumor that John was part of the Joy of Cooking family, so I asked about it, and he confirmed, and we started talking and hit it off. But yeah, that was.
But you didn't really know what you were getting into.
No, I did not know what I was getting into.
There's a lot more. Yeah.
So when you grew up, though, because you're descended from the Joy of Cooking, was it like mandatory that you learn how to cook?
I mean, I want to say it was more of an osmosis type situation, but
because everyone in your family was cooking as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, my mother's a wonderful cook. My dad, he has trouble writing things down, which is bad for a cookbook author, but he's a very good cook, and as long as somebody was taking notes, everything worked out.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, there was no like serious pressure for me to take on the family business. I just kind of came to it on my own.
Right.
They gave me space to breathe, and I think that was necessary for me to really embrace it.
Yeah. And Megan, for you, did you grow up with people who like to cook?
Absolutely. My whole family is full of amazing cooks. My mother, both my grandmothers, I was lucky enough to know also my great-grandmothers, and they were excellent cooks too.
Wow.
So yeah, I grew up around delicious food. So when I moved out, I knew I had to learn to cook because my standards were high for food.
I get it. I get the connection now.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. What were you going to say, John? You were going to say
I
something.
was just going to say, luckily on our first few dates, I managed to not mess up dinner.
Oh yeah, you
So
made.
you made? You
Yes.
made dinner?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
It was delicious. He made coq au vin for one of the first dinners we had together. I was very impressed. It took hours.
And then a Thai green curry from scratch, but I unfortunately outspiced you.
It was a bit spicy for me at the time. I think I've grown. I think I now am much better with spice, but at the time it was a lot.
I love it. I love it. We're going to tell everyone again, the book is Joy of Cooking, and also the podcast of the same name, right? Joy of
That's
Cooking
right.
Podcast.
Joy of Cooking Podcast.
Correct. If you guys have questions, call in at 503-395-8858. We'd love to answer your questions on the podcast.
Okay, you know, we'll put that number, we'll put a link on that for that number as well. So on our website. All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.